Tommy Rieman was a teenager pumping gas in Independence, Kentucky when he enlisted in the United States Army. In December 2003, he was on a reconnaissance mission in Iraq when his team came under heavy enemy fire. From his Humvee, Sergeant Rieman returned fire. He used his body as a shield to protect his gunner. He was shot in the chest and arm and received shrapnel wounds to his legs, yet he refused medical attention and stayed in the fight. He helped to repel a second attack, firing grenades at the enemy's position. For his exceptional courage, Sergeant Rieman was awarded the Silver Star. And like so many other Americans who have volunteered to defend us, he has earned the respect and the gratitude of our entire country.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. It's such an honor to be here. Looking back at the road that I've taken throughout my life, I'm 34 years old and I feel like I'm 65. I joined the Army at 17 years old. I grew up out of Independence, Kentucky, right outside of Cincinnati, and had no idea what I wanted to do with myself except be in the United States Army. And I joined right out of high school. I had to get my parents' consent, and I knew I wanted to jump out on an airplane and carry around a rifle and protect our nation. And so I did. I left Independence, Kentucky, and went on a venture that I'm so blessed and thankful for. But I can tell you, just like everybody else in here that is a veteran, that venture wasn't easy. I started off in the 82nd Airborne Division and then went over to Germany into a long-range surveillance unit. They're a 6-man team where we'd go behind enemy lines and call in airstrikes on enemy defense forces. We were there 3 days before the war started. As you can imagine, being 21, 22 years old, in the middle of Iraq, 3 days before ground troops are even on the ground, it's a little hairy. And so leading out to, in 2003, we were in a 3-vehicle convoy of 8 men. There were 8 of us, and we were 15 miles south of Baghdad. And at that time, we didn't have MRAPs in these large vehicles. And so en route, we were ambushed by 35 enemy insurgents. We were hit with 3 RPGs, 3 IEDs, and a hail of small-arm gunfire. At that time, I used my body as a shield to protect my gunner and was shot in the arm, the chest, and took 11 pieces of shrapnel in my body. We continued to engage the enemy, eventually silencing them, and we moved out of the kill zone. And I assessed the situation. I took a bullet off my helmet into my gunner's buttocks, and my dear friend Bruce Robinson lost his right leg and took 183 pieces of shrapnel to his body. From that moment, my life had changed. It changed in so many ways I could never foresee. And it started a long, long journey to come home. After that, I received the Silver Star and the Purple Heart, and I got hailed as a hero by our president and by our country. I was made an action figure and a video game character. And as I toured around the country, I got to tell some great stories and meet some wonderful people and really find out what the fabric of America is all about. But through that, I learned what the fabric of Tommy Rieman is and was. You see, I was just a young man, a lost soul, doing what I thought I was supposed to be doing. But yet I was set up for failure. I trained to go to war. I trained to do the mission. I wasn't trained to come home. We took years to train for combat. I got 10 days to come back into society, and I wasn't prepared. You see, since 2003, I've battled alcoholism, addiction, DUIs, divorce, homelessness. It's been a long road. It's been a path of destruction. But I've got good news. People like you are here to recover and help me, and many others like me. Because my story is not so uncommon, as you know. I hear it takes a village to raise a child. Well, it takes a community to return a veteran. And that community sits right here. I didn't do this by myself. I hurt a lot of people along the way, but I had a lot of help along the way. And I'm so thankful for my friends and my family and my kids sticking through it. My ex-wife, she's a wonderful mother and sticking through those pains. But more importantly, there for the longest time, I only thought veterans could help each other. I thought civilians just don't care. People don't know what I'm going through. People don't understand, and they could care less. Boy, I was wrong. I had wonderful people like Melissa Fitzgerald, who I knew making a movie. And she reached out to me and said, I got this person, this guy, I think he can help you, but you got to be willing to accept the help. And I did, and I'm so glad I did. In 2013, I deployed again in 2010. In 2013, I was still dealing and battling with alcoholism, PTSD, and my traumatic brain injury. And I never addressed it and took it head on. It got to the point on September 1st of 2013, I wrote a goodbye letter to my two beautiful children. And I got so intoxicated, I knew exactly what I was going to do. I took a truck into a tree at 70 miles an hour and never looked back. And when I hit that tree, I opened my eyes and I was still alive, and I was angry. I couldn't believe that I couldn't even go through with taking my own life. But at that point, I knew I needed help. So after that suicide attempt, I tried to go through the VA. The VA sent me through a detox program, and then I found a wall in front of me. That wall was another 6 months because I had to be sober to go through a PTSD program for 6 months. And there was a 2.5-month wait to go into a recovery program. And so that's when Melissa reached out to me. And then the next call I got was from a very familiar name in this room, a guy named West Huddleston. Here's a guy running a major program who takes the time to take care of one individual. He called me and said, "Do you want help?" I said, "Yes, whatever you can do. I'm in desperation. I need everything you can do for me." He said, "Pack your stuff. You're going to rehab." He got in an airplane, picked me up in Charlotte, and I'm scared. I don't know what to expect. And he walks up to me and just hugs me. And I'm like, "Get off of me. Who are you? What are you doing?" But he cared. He cared so much. He didn't have to know me, but he cared so much about me as a human being. I think that's so important to take away. If we're not here for each other, then who are we here for? This is exactly what the fabric of this country is all about. Embracing each other. Being there for one another. So as I continued and I went to rehab, it was a fabulous place. But I did get sober. And the story continued. It's not like my life was better instantly. I had to continue and struggle. I lived in a car after I got back. I still had to face the DUI charges. And I think I came out of rehab, actually, and spoke at a Justice for Vets event. And a guy named Mark Tichy, where are you at, Mark? Mark stood up and said, "Hey, I started a treatment court in North Carolina. I think I can help you." And the powers that be, I drove 2.5 hours each way to go to court every week. And I endured that battle, and it was not easy, and that judge didn't give me any slack just because I was so far away. But I learned a lot about myself, and I still continue to learn every day. If it wasn't people like Melissa, like Mark, and especially people like West, I wouldn't be here. And it's time that we all stand up, we all stand together, and we make sure that every veteran gets the same treatment and acceptance and the help that I received. It's up to all of us. I think what everybody needs to know is there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and we can all recover. Luckily, today I'm running a nonprofit called the Independence Fund. I'm the executive director. Never in my life did I think I could run an organization when 18 months ago I was in rehab. But with the support of the people in my life, that's where you can be. And I hope everybody walks away with friends and people like West, like Melissa, that are always there for you. In closing, I really, really hope, like you had yesterday, it was such a success on the Hill, that everybody knows how important these courts really are, about rehabilitation, that we're there for one another and we stand together. Thank you guys so much, and God bless.